welcome back. If it's your first time, I'm so glad that you're here. I know that I haven't done a lot of these reviews, but if it's your first time here on my YouTube channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, and if you're back for another week, I'm happy to see you. So I purchased a week of Sunbasket. So Sunbasket is kind of like HelloFresh. It's just a bit more organic, a bit more specialty diet based, and so I thought I would show you guys everything that's in the box that's right behind me. I figured I'd open it with you guys and kind of cook through some of the meals with you and then do a mini review. So I did the HelloFresh review on the blog if you want to check that out. But I figured we could do this one together and see if this style works a little bit better, do it a little more blog style. Apologies for Bear, he's always here. So yeah, let's open this up and see what's in the box. So here is everything that came out. We have one meal that has wild-caught salmon, one meal that has ground turkey, and then one that is fully vegan. So I was able to pick all of these meals, and I'll kind of talk through that in a minute, but I'm actually kind of hungry and I'm getting ready to make lunch. So we had salmon last night for dinner. I'm gonna decide between these two guys, so I will let you know in a second which one I picked. So we picked the Mediterranean salad with falafel because I think it'll be quicker, and I took everything, all of this was inside my little bag, and then this is here. But I love that these guys are like these little twist lids. They're so easy to reuse and they're exactly portioned out for it. So I love the packaging. Everything is organic, which is fab. And yeah, so I'm gonna follow this recipe. It looks like it's pretty straightforward. It says that it serves 2. So 2 bags serve 4, 1 bag serves 2. It takes 30 to 45 minutes. And this is what it should look like. It also tells you how you can make it ahead or how the kids can kind of help out. So if you have kids, but this book right here has all the recipes for the week, which is great. You pretty much could make everything yourself again, except for it doesn't, like, you'd have to recreate like the dressing and the falafel spice. But I love that all of these recipes are in here. So this is a little wet from being in the box, which kind of stinks. I guess technically you're good, but like it could ruin your recipes. But I'm gonna grab my phone and pop it up and watch some more Orphan Black, and we're going to make the first recipe, and I will let you know how this one turns out. Alright guys, so meal number 1 is done. I'm still cooking the rest of the falafel bits. There's 2, serves 2, so this is my serving, and then I've kind of started prepping the other half for Mom to take later. I pretty much prepped what, like, the version of it that she'll eat, so there's a few things that I left off, but everything's kind of tucked under there, the dressing's in there. So let's try a bite and see how we feel about the first meal. I will say you can kind of like make this how you want it. It's good. I don't really get much of the dressing in there, but it's good. If you don't like certain things, obviously you can kind of customize it to your preference. I don't super love lots of red onion, so I kept less of that on there and tried to make it as thin as possible. Mom doesn't really like Kamado olives, so I put all of the olives on mine. And then yeah, so everything is just kind of prepped and ready to go. There was a lot of cucumber. I definitely didn't use all of the cucumber. So this salad part 1 is done. These little falafel bits, I will say, if you make this recipe, these I probably could have smushed these up a little bit more, and in hindsight, next time I would probably actually blitz this in the food processor to get it a little bit better. But these can really fall apart, as you can see, super easily. So if you're making the falafel recipe from this, be careful when you flip them over, otherwise it will just like break into pieces. So, but yeah, meal number 1 is done. So I will check back in with you guys when I make my next Sunbasket meal, and then we will kind of wrap it all up at the end, and I will give you my thoughts and recommendations. So I will see you for lunch or dinner. Meal number 2 is done. I've plated mine, so that's what it's supposed to look like. That's what it actually looks like. I have some leftover slaw, and then I've packed up one of Mom's to go. So I think I'm gonna eat this with a fork and knife, and I will get back to you on how it tastes. I liked it. That meal was really good. It was very quick to make, super simple. So that was nice. I love that for the most part, like any of the things that were really finely chopped or too crazy, they gave you. I only used half the jalapeno in it. I might have used, I might have used more. I think that I'm not sure how like well it really spread out between all of the turkey burgers, so who knows, mom's might be a smidge more spicy, but I really did enjoy them. If you aren't like if you don't want to pick it up and eat it, that's not like your style, I would recommend cutting up the lettuce and doing it more as like a salad type thing, because it's just really awkward to do that with the combo that it is. It'd probably be better to just cut it up, because otherwise you still have, I only used 4 of the pieces of that head of lettuce, so it probably would have been better to chop it up and do a salad base. So other than that, those are just my tips for that particular one. But yeah, I really enjoyed that meal, so I'm probably going to make the other meal in just a little bit. So if you see me back in this outfit, we will be back in the kitchen making the salmon meal in just a few. Alright guys, so I mentioned at the start of this video that I would kind of sit down and wrap everything up and kind of talk you through the whole Sunbasket process, what I liked about it, if I didn't like anything about it, and just kind of a general consensus on how I felt about it. So let's get into that really quickly. And sorry, we're having difficulties. Okay, so I want to talk through the pricing, everything that kind of makes it special, what's so specific about Sunbasket, but I also kind of want to chat through kind of, I hate to say comparing it, but also kind of comparing it to HelloFresh, because I've seen more and more bloggers and Instagrammers, influencers, whatever title you want to give it, doing HelloFresh ads. And I think that that's great. I think HelloFresh is awesome. I think that other countries get a better version of HelloFresh than we do in the US, if I'm perfectly honest. But I kind of want to talk through just everything I feel like you need to know, you'd want to know, particularly maybe if you're already doing HelloFresh and are considering switching over to Sunbasket, just all of that information. So let's start with the cost. So for the classic plan for Sunbasket, it is $11.99 per serving, and that gives you the option to choose between any of the meals. So you get this little like packet of information. It tells you the week, your recipes are in here, but it's got all of the different recipes for all of the different dietary plans on it, which is nice, I guess, if you kind of wanted to like makeshift your own version of it later. But you really get a good look at like what they offer. So it's $11.99 per serving for the classic meal. I think you can either do 2 or 4 people on that. I held up 4, and that gives you options for all of them. And then the family plan is $10.99 per serving, and I believe that's like about 6 servings, but you can only choose between, I want to say, the chef, maybe chef selection and vegetarian. It's a lot more limited. You don't have the ability or the flexibility to choose between all of those. So those are the 2 different options. There is a shipping cost. It is about $6.99, or at least it was $6.99 for me for shipping. Now there was a delay in my package getting here, so they have credited that shipping back on my account to use towards my next order, but it might change depending on where you are. Sunbasket is only available in the US, and they don't ship to Alaska, Hawaii, Montana, and some parts of New Mexico. That is what their website is currently. I don't know if that'll change. I can see, obviously I can see the challenge that would be in trying to get to Alaska and Hawaii. I don't know why Montana and New Mexico. Personally, I'm not sure, but not all of New Mexico, it just is some parts of New Mexico. And they're definitely, when I looked online again this morning, I didn't realize exactly how many meal plans they really had available, because I was only kind of looking at like a smaller portion of it, but there are quite a few. So there's Chef's Choice, which pretty much what it sounds like. There's Paleo, there's a lean and clean version, gluten-free, vegetarian, Mediterranean, vegan, pescatarian, a diabetes friendly one, and a quick and easy version. So depending on what your dietary requirements are or what your goals are, maybe you're in a place where you're trying to cut, or you're trying to lose weight, or you have health issues, or you want to try out a new diet. I kind of feel like Sunbasket's really great with that, especially because with the classic plan, you can pick and choose. So If you log into our account right now, mine says vegan. That's what it says listed on it, because I still skew towards a very heavily plant-based diet. I don't eat red meat. I don't eat a lot of chicken or turkey. If anything, I'll eat more fish, but it really depends on the day and what I'm feeling, what I'm craving, what seems like it'll taste good. Some days I'm like, yes, I want salmon. Some days it sounds like the worst thing ever. Last night I thought I wanted turkey until I took a bite and wasn't feeling it. So I love that because my diet is so kind of flexible in general, but I definitely am always kind of tweaking and changing things a little bit. I love that with Sunbasket I can kind of go in, and even though it says vegan, if I feel like, you know, I tend to not eat gluten-free because of food sensitivities, but this salmon dish sounds good, or we got a turkey dish. We got everything from different sections, even though we had the vegan plan. I loved that. That was one of my favorite aspects of it. So if you want to try to eat more Mediterranean style, you want to try maybe a more pescatarian diet, maybe you just want to have more vegetarian options in your life, I think that Sunbasket is great for that. So comparing it as far as a classic plan goes to HelloFresh, HelloFresh is $9.99 per meal or per serving, and Sunbasket is $11.99. The difference with that is that Sunbasket focuses on organic foods. They are all about hormone-free meat, organic eggs, and wild-caught seafood. So you're paying $2 more a meal, but you're also really paying for them to source that quality. And that's personally, that's how we shop. We tend to stick with more, you know, wild-caught seafood, pasture-raised chicken, you know, grass-fed beef, things like that. So it's nice to know that when I'm purchasing something from Sunbasket, if I'm bringing those meals into our house to cook, that I'm really not skewing off of my normal standards of food. I know that when I eat out, there's potential that I'm not necessarily going to always get that kind of quality that I want, but at least I know if I'm bringing it in, and that way it's still kind of close to that. So will I use it again? Yes. I will say that normally when I do reviews for the blog, a lot of times I will sign up for something, do the first round, and then cancel. Because I'm testing and trying things all the time, and it's just too overwhelming and too much to have like the daily harvest, like, you know, however many smoothies coming in, and Sunbasket coming in, and HelloFresh. It's too much for me. It's too much for our kitchen. It's just too much. So I normally will go in and like do the initial whatever, and as soon as I am available to like cut it off, I will cut it off. So that's my one qualm about Sunbasket, is that it's not easy to cancel. Like, I can't just go in online and cancel. I can skip weeks, which is what I've done, because at some point I feel like I probably will add it back in, but it's not really easy to cancel. Daily Harvest was incredibly easy to cancel, and if you haven't read that review, it went up yesterday, which is Thursday, but this is on a Sunday, so a couple of days ago. I'll put that link down below. So I will say that that was kind of a negative for me, but I look at it in the fact that you're paying $11.99 per serving, so that's cheaper than what you're gonna pay to go out to a restaurant. You can pick your meals. You can also kind of adapt them how you want them. I mentioned in, I'm not sure if the footage made it in because I had to do some editing because of course my dog was chatting it up in the background, but one of the meals that I made was, I just had it open too, it was one of the turkey kind of, yeah, it's this like turkey slaw Asian wrap meal. This was really good, but I will say that this kind of wrap style, it might have been this one or it might have been one of the other ones, but there was one meal where I just thought, you know, this would probably go a lot better, and I think it might have been this one if I just chopped up the lettuce and put it on top of the salad. So I like that I can make it more flexible to what I would want to eat, and the quality is good for it. Everybody in our house seemed to like all of the meals. They were different. They were things that I might not have normally cooked. I definitely think if you're learning to cook or you're learning to cook more healthily, I would recommend it. I get the price point. I can see that. That's why I like the fact that I can kind of skip. So if you just, instead of eating out for the month, maybe this was the thing that you wanted to treat yourself to, but you still wanted to be able to control the quality of what you were eating, this is great. So the meal plans start at like a 2-person meal, and you get 2 or 3 meals in the week, so it's like 2 or 4. And you can kind of pick from there. And of course they have a discount code off your first box. I believe it's $40. I have a discount code because like normal places like that, you all have one. So I will leave mine down below, and if you purchase anything, then I get credit towards Sunbasket meals in the future. So I really enjoyed all the meals that we did. We did I want to say we did one of the lean and clean ones, we did a vegan one, and we did one of the more pescatarian ones. And the quality of everything was great. I really enjoyed all of them, and there were meals that I necessarily wouldn't have cooked otherwise. I like that if you have issues with time, and so maybe you want like a nice meals every so often, they have the quick and easy ones. So you can set that up as your option, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's very to the point. I threw on, I think I'm watching Grimm right now, so I threw that on my phone and just kind of cooked and had everything really prepped, and it was super easy. Some things I had a little bit extra, but they did a really good job at portioning everything out in these little plastic containers that were super reusable. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything as far as Sunbasket goes. Yes, I would use it again. My biggest issue there was that it's not easy to cancel. Like I can't just go in online and cancel it. So if that's your thing, that, you know, I can understand that would be negative for me, but it's not necessarily a massive negative. I definitely, not that I want to be a person who compares constantly, but I mentioned in my HelloFresh review on the blog, I'll link that down below as well, that, you know, for me personally with my dietary restrictions, I don't really eat gluten, I don't have dairy, I'm just really kind of, it's very hard. Finding a meal plan like this in general is a bit more challenging to fit my dietary requirements, and Sunbasket is something that I can actually make work. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that it works with me, and I appreciate that it's kind of given me meal options that I wouldn't normally consider. So if you're looking for healthy alternatives to maybe eating out and wanting to stay on a budget, or you just want to cook at home more and want some like inspiration, I would definitely recommend checking it out. So yeah, that is all I have for today, guys. I am off to film another video for you and hope that this rain stays away. So I love you guys. You matter to me. Make sure you head over to the blog and check out today's posts, and I will see you all in Wednesday's weekly vlog. Bye guys.